This is day one of this marathon build. In a few months' time, I'll be standing on that start line, ready to race marathon number 6. What workout are we kicking this marathon block off with, I hear you ask? The nemesis of my London build, the progression long run. Woo! Getting a little bit scary in here. I had some fairly big misses in the last block doing these progression long run workouts. 20 mile, 22 mile, 24 mile long run progressions where you've got 15 miles sandwiched in the middle of faster, harder running. And Coach John and I have agreed that in this block, we need to get past that. I need to get to a place where I'm not feeling the pit in my stomach the night before these types of sessions, and instead build some confidence in them again and turn them back into one of my strengths, because this didn't used to be my Achilles heel, so I need to get back there. If possible, please. That's just me speaking to the running gods. If there are any, there might not be, but if there is, you never know. So let's explain what's gone wrong here. Looking back at marathon builds in the past, prior to the Berlin block, which was the one before London, so marathons 1, 2, and 3, Seville, Copenhagen, Houston. See, I'd like to forget that one, but I can't quite. Those training blocks were under my previous coach. Big, high volume, key, intense workouts would be treated in a similar way to a race. I drop down the intensity and the volume in the days leading into those sessions, and the same for the days afterwards as well. I take some shorter days to recover from these really big, really tough workouts. Hot take. I think that approach actually puts more pressure on the workout itself. On top of that, I was effectively tapering down for these sessions. So my body was given a helping hand, if you like, in being prepared and ready to take on these tough workouts. When I started working with John, he said,
"Yeah, you can say goodbye to all of that. I want you to be in pain and hurting 24/7.
Okay, that's not what he said, but he did look at my training and how I was kind of fluctuating in this way in relation to these workouts. And he said, I want your training to be more consistent, more constant, more
dense.
So instead of dialing back for a few days and then ramping up with this really hard, really big workout and then easing back down again to recover, we wanted the training to look more like this. Just more steady versus coming up, coming down, coming back up, tapering down. You get the idea. Having things more dense, more steady is tougher, yes. But when you can pull it off and your body then adapts to that type of training, what we have, hopefully, is a more resilient, fitter athlete. Which brings me to the situation I found myself in. I am just so fit, guys, so resilient, such a good athlete. Progression runs, they just don't faze me anymore. So I just don't perform very well because I'm not nervous enough for them. That was a joke. The challenge I found myself in is with the balancing act. When big, dense, long sessions come into the mix, a long run progression workout, for example, the balancing act is maintaining that density of training, so, not coming down beforehand or afterwards, but still being recovered enough and in a position to execute the hard session. Part of the story of these workouts not quite going to plan in the London Marathon build is shock. I wasn't getting the balancing act quite right. I don't think I was quite managing that recovery element as well as I would have liked. And lots of little things can add up here. Slightly less sleep, slightly less time between 2 runs and 2 workouts, nutrition, stress, the time of the month I'm in my cycle, weather, etc, etc, etc. It's a long list, okay? But I was also putting a lot of pressure on these workouts and framing them as the workout that would be the make or break of my marathon block, which they're really not. They're just a workout. And when I look back, I think that pressure has been there ever since these sessions entered the chat, as the hard, big, scary, intense workouts that also feel really, really important in predicting how well my race is gonna go. Pressure in training, good thing. We like pressure, yes. We need to go outside of our comfort zone, and we also need to challenge and stretch that belief of what we think is possible. But sometimes too much pressure, not so helpful. Actually, unhelpful, i.e. we're less likely to execute as a result. That then crushes your confidence, which increases the pressure on the next workout going well, which is then an unhelpful amount of pressure, meaning the workout doesn't go well, so your confidence is crushed. It's not a good cycle to be spinning in. So for today and the rest of this training block, you listening? Let's see, shall we? If just chilling out a little bit more, I'm chilling, and trying our very best not to put the whole weight of the outcome of a race that is in 12 weeks' time on this one workout, and being in a good spot recovery-wise, could start this one off with a bang. A good bang, okay? Not like a scary, loud, unexpected one that leaves me unable to walk at the end or something.
That's what she said.
And if it doesn't come off today, and we walk away having learned something to take into the next one, that is also fine, because I have been promised that I'm going to be doing these progression long run workouts until they mean nothing. So I best buckle in. And you know what? I'd love it if you did too, because I could use all the support I can get. And there's a rumor going around that every time someone clicks subscribe on my channel, it increases the likelihood that this workout goes well, that I overcome the progression long run demon, and subsequently run really, really fast in my next marathon. And that then increases my chances of making it to the Olympics in LA 2028. Something I wouldn't mind doing. It's a wild rumor, I know, but started somewhere. Could be a grain of truth in it. Before we get into the meat of this first long run progression workout of this training block, a word from my most trusted training companion. If you've been here for a while, you know that I've been wearing a Coros for a while, and that I name my watches. So Claudius here is the latest, greatest running watch from Coros. He's a Pace Pro, and he sits happily on my wrist for all of the running that I do, alongside his best mate, Harold, the heart rate monitor. Now I train quite a lot, but it's my job. Having a watch that has the battery life to live up to that, it feels good. The battery on this thing is the best I have ever experienced. It also has their most accurate activity tracking yet. That's thanks to an enhanced satellite chipset and dual frequency modes, which basically means this thing's gonna be as accurate in the city amongst those big skyscrapers as it is on those back trails in the country. And analyzing my training data, which gets automatically synced from my watch to the Coros app, also just got better thanks to a snazzy new update. You can take advantage of some really cool new features in this update. Real-time voice alerts. These can be delivered either through your headphones if they're connected to the watch, or just through the speaker on your phone. There's on-watch strength guidance with videos so that you know you're doing those movements correctly. And amongst loads of other things, there's also some exciting new activity modes, which is going to be really exciting news for those of you who just feel compelled to share that Tuesday evening Pilates session with the rest of the world on Strava. I'm not judging, I would too. Head on over to the link at the top of the description below to check out the Coros Pace Pro and the heart rate monitor, and to read about the app update, and to check out all of their other products too, because a good runner needs a good watch. It's a fact. Now let's smash the progression round.
This is my job.
All right, thoughts, feelings?
I'm trying to be John Green, because John Green says, just another session. Just gonna go out there, have a good time, get some good training in, you'll be fine. It's just another workout, that's what John says. So, feeling fine. Feeling fine.
How are you really feeling?
How am I really feeling? Feeling like my stomach is upside down, with a couple of twists in between the stomach and the passage of exit, which will alarmingly be released without much prior warning in about 5 to 10 minutes. Feeling scared, feeling nervous, doubting myself, and ever so slightly dreading it. Other than that, excited, time of my life, nothing better. Day 1 of marathon training. Nerves are good. Nerves are good. I always say that, don't I? But it is a bell-shaped curve.
What is the actual session then?
So, 20 to 21 miles total, 6 to 7 miles easy warm-up, 10 to 12 miles progression. I'll be aiming to start out in the 620s, so that's 620 to 629 minute miling, although John did say, I don't know why I even bother saying this, because you'll probably start out in the 610s, which is fine, he said, like, because I'm not going to blow the progression off that, but I will endeavour to start in the 620s, because it feels like a challenge now. So yeah, 10 to 12 miles working down from 620s down to 520s, but that's a speed limit 520. If I get down to 529, great. And he did say I have a tendency in these workouts to, I think I get a little bit scared, kind of like halfway through, 3/4 through, where I'm like, oh, this is hard now, and I've still got quite a ways to go. So I tend to kind of deploy risk-averse, cautious Phily, and then I get to the end and I'm like, oh, I'm fine. And then I can kind of like let rip the last mile. He's like, I know you can run a 5:10 last mile, but you don't need to do that. So I think he'd rather see me get down earlier and spend like 2 to 3 miles in the 5:20s, 5:30s, which would be like an amazing day, versus kind of big steps down and then a really fast last mile. So no really fast last miles. And to be honest, like today is just the first of these, so it might be a little bit of a shock to the system, it might not, but I haven't done one in a while, so I think today is just about being B+, just about ticking it off, just staying in that range. And then cool down for the remainder of the volume.
Let's get it.
Let's do it.
So at day one of the marathon block, like what is your mentality kind of going into this new block? It's the 6th block now.
Do you know what? I feel very ready to start the training and to start working hard. And I don't know, like I really feel like I've closed the chapter on London. I'm at peace with it. I don't know. I really want to use this block to get myself into a spot where both mentally and physically, when I get to that race, I know I'm really ready, and I know that's possible. Like I fully believe that. I want to be in this spot where, let's say I cross the line, 2:23 something, and I'm not like gobsmacked surprised. I'm ecstatic and buzzing because it's one thing knowing you can do it and then another thing pulling it off on the day. But I feel like, yeah, I just really want to have that like rock solid belief in my training and in my ability and what we've worked for. And that feels like a really good spot to be in with, you know, a few months ahead of me of the training, kind of embodying that mentality. But I've got to do it every day. So I need to check myself. You need to pull me up on it. Days I'm tired, day after a double threshold session, when I've just got to get a medium long run done, and it's not going to feel good, but it's just about ticking the days off and yeah, really showing up as my best self. Like I said in the Olympic video, all of those little micro decisions, they compound. So I wanna live up to that. So yeah, I'm excited.
Come on. All the way to the end now. Really focusing now. Go to the arc. Come on.
That was 5:09.
So the hard 5:20 stop.
It was like, I did what he said, like I was down in the 5:20s
Yeah.
with 4 miles to go.
Nice.
And I went from like, I meant to go from 5:39, let's have a look. 6:16, 6:11, 6:02, 5:58, 5:56, 5:49, 5:47, 5:39, 5:34. And then I meant to go like 5:30.
Yeah.
And I went 5:26.7. Then I went 5:24.8. And then I went 5:09.8. So it was the last 3 miles in the 5:20s, or in the last one was a bit faster. It's almost like I'm tired, so I'm like, okay, I feel like I've got to put everything into this.
Yeah.
Just to maintain like a 5:22.
Yeah.
But that's not the case, clearly, because I accidentally ran 5:09. But I was like,
It's about how can you spread that?
true, how can you spread that? But I don't think I've ever done the last 3 miles that fast. Like, even just being in the 5:20s for the last 3 miles would have been great. 5:09 was a bit of a whoopsie, but he did kind of call it.
Yeah.
Oh, I really surprised myself on that. It's remembering that, isn't it? I can do it, and it doesn't have to be that scary. But you can tell I'm still scared because of that last mile. I'm like scared that it's not going to be the perfect progression, or I'm not going to be able to run a second quicker, and then I accidentally run like 15 seconds quicker. Well, I think that's like day 1 of marathon training, lesson 1 of marathon training learned. I'm capable of more than I think. No need to be so scared, nervous. I think we all do that, so lesson to all of you as well. It's okay if it's a little bit scary, but you can probably do it. Roll on the next 12 weeks, eh? Look, the state of it. That is a real treat. And you know what else is going to be a real treat?
What?
Telling people which marathon I'm going to run. Hopefully, it'll be in the next week's video. But I'm just asking permission, so stay tuned. And love the grind.